The crystalline corridors of Station Kepler-7 hummed with the usual cacophony of interspecies commerce. Vendors hawked their wares in a dozen different languages, while the universal translator worked overtime to keep communications flowing. Among the bustling crowd, Zareth clutched her daughter's hand tightly, her four-fingered grip trembling with barely contained emotion. Liana, barely reaching her mother's waist, gazed up with wide, iridescent eyes that shifted from blue to purple, with her changing mood. Currently they were a deep indigo, the color of profound sadness among her people, the Veltari. "Mama, can we fix Sparkle?" Liana whispered, her voice carrying the melodic undertones characteristic of her species. Zareth looked down at the broken toy in her other hand, a small, intricate device that had been Liana's most treasured possession. It resembled a miniature holographic projector, capable of creating dancing lights and gentle melodies that had soothed her daughter through countless nights since her father's passing 3 cycles ago. The accident had happened that morning. In her rush to prepare for another double shift at the station's waste reclamation center, Zareth had accidentally knocked Sparkle from the table. The delicate Veltari craftsmanship, designed more for beauty than durability, had shattered against their quarters' metal flooring. "I'm sorry, little star," Zareth said, using her pet name for Liana. "Mama doesn't have the credits for a new one, and the Veltari repair shop says it's beyond fixing." They had already visited 3 different repair stations. The Krillian technician had clicked his mandibles dismissively, declaring Veltari toys impractically fragile. The robotic Synthian had run a diagnostic and simply stated, "Components irreparable, recommend disposal." Even the Centauri merchant had shaken her head, suggesting they purchase a more durable alternative that cost more than Zareth made in a month. As they walked through the merchant district, Liana's eyes grew dimmer, and Zareth felt her own composure cracking. She had failed as a provider, as a protector, and now as the one person who should be able to make her daughter's world right again. They found themselves in the less fashionable section of the station, where repair shops specialized in keeping old freighters and mining equipment operational. The signs were mostly in standard galactic with rough translations that suggested competence over elegance. Chen's mechanical solutions stood out only for its simplicity. Through the transparent aluminum window, they could see a human male, bent over a workbench, surrounded by an organized chaos of tools and components. His dark hair was streaked with premature silver, and his hands moved with the precision of someone who understood machinery at an intuitive level. "Mama, what's a human?" Liana asked, having never encountered one of the relatively new species to join the galactic community. "They're unpredictable," Zareth replied, remembering the stories she'd heard. Humans had arrived in galactic society only recently, but their reputation for doing the impossible had already begun to spread. Chen looked up as they approached, his brown eyes crinkling with genuine warmth. "Can I help you folks?" Zareth hesitated. Her standard galactic was functional but accented. "My daughter's toy. It's broken. Everyone says it cannot be fixed." Chen wiped his hands on a rag and gestured for them to enter. The shop smelled of lubricants and heated metal, but there was something comforting about the organized workspace. Tools hung in precise arrangements, and half-completed projects lined the shelves with small notes detailing their status. "Let's have a look," Chen said gently, crouching down to Liana's eye level. "What's your friend's name?" "Sparkle," Liana whispered, her eyes cycling to a hopeful violet. "She makes pretty lights and sings me to sleep." Zareth carefully placed the broken toy on Chen's workbench. The human's expression grew thoughtful as he examined the delicate fragments. Where others had seen irreparable damage, his eyes traced patterns and possibilities. "Veltari craftsmanship," he murmured appreciatively. "Beautiful work. The harmonic resonance chambers are incredibly sophisticated, far more advanced than most species attempt." For 20 minutes, Chen studied the toy with various instruments, occasionally making soft sounds. Zareth watched nervously, expecting another rejection, another professional dismissal of her daughter's treasure. Finally, Chen looked up with a slight smile. "The good news is Sparkle isn't dead. She's just sleeping very deeply." Liana's eyes flashed to brilliant gold, pure joy among her people. You can wake her up? I think so, but it's going to take some creativity. The original components are too damaged to repair conventionally, but humans have gotten pretty good at making things work with whatever we have available. Over the next 3 hours, Chen worked with a focus that bordered on obsession. He carefully extracted intact circuits, fabricated microscopic replacement parts using his 3D printer, and somehow managed to interface Veltari biotechnology with human engineering principles. Zareth watched in amazement as he bridged gaps that sophisticated alien technicians had declared impossible. When he needed a component that didn't exist, he built one. When traditional repair methods failed, he invented new ones. The fascinating thing about Veltari technology, Chen explained as he worked, is that it's designed to grow and adapt like living tissue. Most species try to repair it mechanically, but humans, we're pretty good at understanding things that change and evolve. As the station's lights dimmed to simulate evening, Chen made a final adjustment and stepped back. Liana, would you like to say hello to Sparkle? Liana approached the workbench with reverent care. The toy looked different. Small additions of human technology were visible among the restored Veltari components, but as she lifted it, Sparkle came to life. Light danced from the device in patterns even more beautiful than before, while the melody that emerged seemed richer, more complex. The human modifications had somehow enhanced rather than diminished the toy's original magic. She's better than before, Liana laughed, her eyes cycling through the entire spectrum of Veltari. Emotion. Zareth felt tears streaming down her cheeks, a physiological response her species shared with humans. How much do I owe you? Chen waved dismissively. Nothing. Sometimes the best payment is just watching something broken become beautiful. Again. As they prepared to leave, Zareth turned back. Why did you help us when others wouldn't even try? Chen smiled, already turning back to his workbench. Because that's what humans do. We fix things that can't be fixed. We find ways where there are no ways, and we never give up on making someone's world a little brighter. Walking home through the station corridors, Liana skipped ahead while Sparkle painted rainbow patterns on the walls. Zareth reflected on what she'd witnessed. Not just mechanical skill, but something uniquely human. The stubborn refusal to accept that anything was truly beyond repair. In the days that followed, word spread through the station's alien communities about the human mechanic who worked miracles. Chen's shop began receiving visitors from across the galaxy, each carrying something precious that others had deemed beyond saving. And in their small quarters, as Sparkle sang Liana to sleep with her enhanced lullabies, Zareth whispered a prayer of gratitude for the species that had taught her the most important lesson of all. Sometimes the most advanced technology in the SOAR universe is simply refusing to give up on someone who needs help.